seats that can go either way, but we're looking at who it strongly leans to. Hanover West leaning to the PNP, Hanover East leaning to the JLP, St. James South leaning PNP, St. James West Central leaning PNP, St. James West Central, leaning JLP, Trelawney Northern leaning PNP, St. Anne Northwest leaning JLP, St. Anne Southeast leaning PNP, St. Mary...
We're not hearing you so well, O'Shane.
Sorry, I don't know. All right, you hearing me better now?
Just pick up your voice a little. Maybe you don't want to disturb your baby.
No, man. You hear me better now?
Yes, go ahead.
All right, so going back again through the seats that are leaning to either party. All right, so Hanover West leaning PNP, Hanover East leaning JLP, St. James South leaning PNP, St. James West Central leaning JLP, Trelawney North leaning PNP, St. Anne Northwest leaning JLP, St. Anne Southeast leaning PNP, St. Mary West leaning PNP, St. Mary Central leaning PNP, St. Mary Southeast leaning JLP, Western Westmoreland leaning PNP, Central Westmoreland leaning JLP, Eastern Westmoreland leaning PNP, St. Elizabeth Southeast leaning JLP, St. Elizabeth Northeast leaning JLP. Then we go on again. Manchester Northeast PNP, Manchester Northwest JLP, Manchester Central JLP, Manchester South PNP, Clarendon Northwest JLP, Clarendon Northern JLP, Southeast St. Catherine PNP, East Central St. Catherine JLP, Central Kingston PNP, South St. Andrew, Eastern JLP, East Rural St. Andrew JLP, and St. Thomas Eastern JLP. With that, we have...
Hold on, O'Shane.
Yeah.
And to O'Shane, if an election were being held tonight, what would be the result?
Election held tonight, we would have the PNP having 23 seats, and the JLP would have 40 seats.
Repeat that for me, sir, please.
If an election was called based on this forecast, the PNP would have 23 seats, and the JLP would walk away with 40 seats.
Really and truly, neighbor, the PNP have really gained a few points. By all indication, both the polls, the forecast, and everything over the last few months.
Yes.
And a point.
This is the best performance for the PNP.
Difference in an election. And when I say no matter what happened from now until the election, those safe seats will remain the safe seats, but those that are leading essentially can go anyway. I don't expect St. James West Central or St. Andrew East Rural to really go to the PNP. I think they are heavily favored by they favor the JLP heavily. Also St. Catherine East Central, where Alanda Terlang is. Those three seats, if I wanted to be biased to the JLP, I could have put them in the JLP column, but I wanted to be as fair as possible.
Yeah, let's work with what we have. So listeners, there you have it, 23-40.
Unlike when we just started the forecast, when we would have ended up with maybe 34 JLP safe seat, and the election result was not in play no matter what. Now, as Info said, the ground is fertile and the campaign will have to be done.
Yes.
23-40 in favor of the Labour Party. That's what we have it.
Yes. So the PNP...
How many seats have the PNP gained O'Shane?
Which meaning that the PNP would have gained.
They have not lost any of their 14, okay?
They have not. Well,
Yes, Northwest Manchester would
they
have
trade out some seats.
Huh? 1.
Yes.
It's 21, O'Shane.
Go again?
It's 21 seats you have there for the PNP?
No, man, 23 seats.
Yeah, and they have 14. How much from the 14 did they lose?
From the 14, I'll have to go back to which one they lost. Now, which one you said they lost again, Casey? I didn't remember which one you said they lost. But remember, they would have picked up other seats, but I think they
You
lost.
mean which one the PNP lost?
Out of the 14 that they had.
Northwest Manchester, Damien Young.
The Damien Young seat, right? That's the one they lost. But
And how much have they gained?
And they, oh, well, that's
10.
So they gained 10. So the last one I gained 10, which keeps them at the 23, right?
PNP have picked up 10 seats.
And if Labour Rights want us to go through the 10 that they have picked up and scrutinize them, because I know JLP supporters will be having arguments with me.
Somebody said it here. It's Central Kingston that they would have picked up in the forecast.
Well, listeners, there you have it. Last week,
They would have gotten Central Kingston in the previous. Oh, in the last forecast, we didn't call Central Kingston, Northern Trelawney, South St. James, and a few other. We left them 50-50. And for the people who are saying I'm biased, all the seats that we left 50-50 the last forecast have gone to
Good night, everybody in the box and on the panel.
one impact.
Casey,
One
my
impact.
MP don't sit in Central Kingston. My MP come there and seize our time in Central Kingston. My MP pull on everything fence. My MP don't come there and sit and look for run away with government money. This man here was coming in, he analyzed a lot of young youth in Central Kingston.
No, miss. You can't come here and say that.
Sorry.
We do not have any. Hold on, wait, please. This is not our position.
All right, sorry about that, Casey. Neighbor.
No, we don't have no evidence of that, man. You can't say that.
We can bring evidence to you.
Yes, but you have to give evidence to the people out there.
I can bring evidence to everybody on TikTok.
No, but you can't. No, don't.
I'm born in Central Kingston. I live here 47 years.
Yes, ma'am. But you understand that this is not a court.
No, I never say it's a court.
Yeah, it's a space for public opinion.
My MP don't come here and sit. My MP working day and night. With no joke about it. I have proof for it.
So that would have been the reason why we would have called it a 50-50 seat based on it being a traditional PNP stronghold. It was. Listen now, you have spoken.
Yes, Casey.
Yeah, the fact that we have called it a 50-50 seat coming from a PNP stronghold over the years, Michael Manley's seat, doesn't that suggest that we're acknowledging the work of Donovan Williams? We have only given it based on the final tiebreaker in the forecast, which when we have something as a 50-50 battleground, a photo finish, we call it for a particular party based on the last local.
The last time campaign here is more the same community campaigning are the same people them have on green.
Yes, but you're not listening. I didn't ask you that. You're not listening to me.
Yeah, what you said, Casey?
I'm saying, based on the fact that before 2020, it was a PNP battle, it was
Yeah.
a PNP garrison. And the JLP haven't won it. And then we have gone back now to basically factory settings after the 2020 election.
Yeah.
Especially based on the percentage in the local government elections.
I will win it.
Yes, I know the JLP won it overall. Congratulations. We are still acknowledging the work of and impact of one Donovan Williams.
Yeah.
That's why we don't throw that seat into a PNP safe column, because we see that it's not safe for the PNP. You can't come here and argue over a seat that we put as a battleground and have it leaning to another party. What that do is give you motivation to work, because it's a 50-50 seat and it's leaning PNP because they have the traditional numbers. That doesn't say you're going to lose or you can't win if your machinery is better than them. Are you a worker in Central Kingston?
Yes, I'm a worker. I'm an outdoor agent.
So what I'm telling you and your co-workers, work hard on election day and get out your vote. And
That's
I'm
what
saying,
we do every election.
okay.
We don't sit in and we cover them. We're ready anytime when elections say kicking
So
off.
you don't agree that it's really 50-50 or very close?
Not 50-50. I'm not answer. I'm a put at the what?
So are you saying it's a JLP safe seat at the moment?
At the moment, right now,
Safe.
I'm not ask, I'm not doubt.
Could we get somebody to represent the PNP from Central Kingston? Is Steve McGregor available or Lawrence Rowe?
He never, what is from him coming here and do nothing to Central Kingston?
Could Imani Duncan Price join us?
He don't do nothing in Central Kingston now.
All right, ma'am. We have to tell you thanks, you see, because we don't have a lot of time. But
okay. Mola tell you, please, Casey, my MP are sweep for Central Kingston again. I remember me they tell you. Remember me they tell you the 12th June. I remember this is a talk me I tell you. My MP Donovan Williams gonna sweep it. Central Kingston with no doubt about it. Bye.
Bye. Bye. All right, listeners, reminding you that the forecast. Casey?
Yes.
Remind the listeners the path we took tonight for some clarity. The path.
Yes. What we did is we identified the safe seats for each party.
Yes.
And then we split the battleground in terms of which party is stronger in those battleground seats.
And we had how many battleground seats, O'Shane?
27.
27.
27. Okay, so the PNP starts the election with 11 safe seats, right, Casey?
Yes.
And the Labour Party 25.
Right.
Yes.
How I look at it, and it's not, I don't want to say it to make it become a reason for complacency for the governing party, but if you have 25 seats that you don't have to be worrying about, it frees up a lot of resources to put into the areas that are considered as battleground. So if that is the case, my expectation is that these 15 likely seats can increase greatly.
Yeah, let me ask Casey, of the 27 battleground seat, Casey, let's say the PNP wins the majority of them, because if they are battlegrounds,
yes,
they can go either way.
Yes.
You don't expect them to win all 27.
No, no.
And based on this forecast,
Really,
the
really,
battle
some don't just lean JLP. They are heavily. They
heavily.
favor JLP heavily because
Yes.
Franklin Whitter's southeast, St. Elizabeth, Marlene Malawi Fort, West Central St. James, Juliet Holness, East Rural St. Andrew, and along the Terrelang, St. Catherine East Central could have been put in the safe column.
I agree.
And those won't go to the PNP. But I still give them a chance. It's not as safe as the 25 others we mentioned.
The man have Tova seat as a battleground. It's a joke, this. I tell you.
Yes, and
yes,
looking at the battle for the battleground seats, as I would put it, JLP is already winning that with 15 out of the 27.
I'm going to go across the island again. You see, Mr. Just for the benefit of the listeners, and you tell me, give them the results. You have your notes there?
Yeah, man.
You have your notes, sir?
Yes, I do.
Good. St. Elizabeth Southeastern, where Frank Whitter is. You have that?
St. Elizabeth Southeastern. Go back to the St. Elizabeth. Yeah, St. Elizabeth Southeast.
Well, it probably is going to be a little difficult for you. Where you want me to start?
As in to go back through? You're going.
Yes, the listeners are asking us to recap.
Oh, so you want to go? So they want a full recap.
All right. So just read out what you have there.
So sometimes, we some of us supporters like to class the others, and all of our Labourite, because I'm a Labourite, come out the other day and call Mark Flanagan and the other PNP supporters fully dunce. And I'm here calling a seat 50-50 and giving you a reason why it leans to the PNP and you're there fighting amongst yourself. And it's good to be optimistic, but I'm afraid of people that are overdosed with confidence. Yes. The hubris is not good. It's not good. I'm not PNP Steve, but I'm not the same as you. I'm a JLP supporter, but of a different thing.
But the reality is, Casey, is that even though we call these safe, if we don't, if the work is not put in, if everything is taken for granted.
Yeah, it's 24 minutes to 11 o'clock though, guys. Let's do our job and come off here.
The seats we call as safe seats, the work is already being done. The work, it's a foregone conclusion.
Okay.
The seats, we say, leans heavily to a particular party. It's unlikely to turn back, like the Marlene Malawi Fort, West Central St. James, the Juliet Holness, East Rural St. Andrew, the along the Terrelang Sea, the Franklin Whitter, Southeast St. Elizabeth. And that would have moved the JLP up to 29 and need just 3 more of the remaining 24 to win the general election. And those 3 would have included Tove Hamilton, Northern, Delroy slowly northeast, Michelle Charles, Eastern up in St. Thomas, Dave Brown, Eastern down in Hanover, Homer Davis, South St. James, Arj Marks, Manchester North East, Damian Young, Manchester Northwest, Brother Mike Crawford, Manchester Central. So you guys should be optimistic. Warren Newby over in Northwest Manchester. Dwight Sibley's. And I'm moving with the time based on where I see the shift. I can't come here and make no changes if I see changes. There are minor changes on the ground every week, sometime every month. And it's important to make your party know where you see them slipping up. You know?
Casey.
Yes.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
I'm trying to remember. The Pernal Charles seat, Pernal Charles Jr., did you count it as a safe seat or?
Safe JLP.
Yeah, man,
Oh,
safe.
safe, okay. No update on our remarks yet.
RJ Marks just landed Manchester and haven't kicked off our campaign. It's fertile ground for the JLP, but it needs campaign.
It's leaning PNP at the moment, you say?
They were in the lead. They are in the lead. So I wouldn't say it's leaning until I see them up at 50-50. But they can get there.
Okay.
And if they play their cards right, they may blow Valuint out of the water.
Okay, looking forward to that.
All right. Ready now, O'Shane?
Yes, man. So we're going through the full call again. Right. So we're gonna start with the safe PNP seats again. So they have 11 safe seats. East Kingston for Philip Paulwell, Southeast St. Andrew for Julian Robinson, Southwest St. Andrew Angela Brown Burke, South St. Andrew Mark Golin, Western St. Andrew Anthony Hilton, East Central St. Andrew Dennis Gordon, Eastern St. Catherine Denise Daly, North Central St. Catherine Natalie Nita Garvey, Northwest St. Catherine Damian Crawford, South St. Catherine Fitz Jackson, Southwest Clarendon Lothian Cousins. That's the 11 safe for the PNP.
Sorry, so there are 11 seats in the country that the PNP will not lose.
Yes, no matter what happens, they will not lose those.
They will not lose these 11 seats.
Right.
All right. No, so we start from there. That if we had an election tonight, no matter what happened, Casey, are you there?
Yes.
These 11 seats will be held by the PNP. Good. Then we move to the seats that the Labour Party will hold up.
Yeah,
so
man,
even if you have a big PNP win, these seats will not be won by the PNP.
No, they will
give us those seats.
Those 25 seats are Portland Eastern.
Yes, sir.
Those 25 seats are Portland Eastern Anne-Marie Vaz, Portland Western Darrell Vaz, St. Thomas Western James Robertson, West Kingston Desmond McKenzie, St. Anne Southwest Xavier Main, Northeast St. Anne Matthew Samuda, Southwest St. Catherine Everett Warmington, South Central St. Catherine Dr. Wheatley, Central St. Catherine Olivia Babsy Grange, St. Catherine West Central Dr. Tufton, St. Catherine Northeast Karen C. Morrison, St. Andrew Northwest Dwayne Smith, St. Andrew North Central Delana Seawright, St. Andrew Northeastern Delroy Chuck, St. Andrew West Central Dr. Andrew Holness, St. Andrew West Rural Juliet Cuthbert, Clarendon Southeast Pernell Charles Jr., Clarendon Central Delroy Williams, Clarendon North Central Robert Nestor Morgan, St. Elizabeth North.
Not this Nesta seat is a
Safe seat.
safe Labour Party seat.
Yep. Yep.
Sir?
Yes, ma'am. Nestor Morgan is a safe seat.
Go ahead.
St. Elizabeth Northwest Andrew Morris, St. Elizabeth Southwest Floyd Green, Trelawney South Morris Adara Rimple Filbert, St. James Northwest Dr. Chang, St. James Central Eroy Clark, St. James East Central Edmund Bartlett. Those are 25 safe seats.
Okay, so the Labour Party starts the election with an advantage because it has doubled. It literally doubles the amount of seat that the PNP has, that they're gonna win. No, that leaves us with what, 27 seats, sir?
27 seats that lean in either way.
So there are 27 seats that the forecaster is suggesting could go either way.
Right.
And how much of those 27 is he giving to the PNP?
Out of those 27, he's giving a total of 23. No, I'm sorry, 12.
No, man.
Sorry, 12. Sorry, a total of 12.
Of the 27 battleground seats,
He's giving 12 to the PNP
12 leans PNP.
and 15 to the JLP.
What are the 12 that are leaning PNP?
The 12 that are leaning PNP are Hanover West, St. James South, Trelawney Northern, St. Anne Southeast, St. Mary West, St. Mary Central, Western Westmoreland, Eastern Westmoreland, Manchester Northeast, Manchester South, Southeast St. Catherine, Central Kingston. Those are the 12.
Those 12 seats are leaning
To the-
PNP.
Right.
And when you add 12 plus the 11, how much is that?
23.
So the PNP really has won 23 seats tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And the balance now goes to the Labour Party, which is how much?
15 goes to the Labour Party for safe, not safe, for swing, and 25 safe, so you're looking at 40 going to the JLP.
So it's a 40-23 election tonight,
Right.
which means the Labour Party would have lost 9.
9 seats
Obviously.
relating to the election right here.
And the JLP haven't got anything in this forecast, but for instance, all the seats that I call 50-50, I add them to the PNP based on the last local government poll.
That's going to be it. Yeah, I look a little stressed. Lauren, Alyssa, I'm stressed for true. No,
So-
not by the forecast, I can tell you. Not by the forecast.
Let's see,
Final
let's-
comments.
Let's see what the campaign will trump up in terms of Northern Trelawney and Northeast Manchester. Also, Western St. Mary will be very important. Don't count out Bobby Montague. Donovan Williams is strong in Central Kingston. As I said, that one is essentially a 50-50. I just called it to the PNP based on the local government polls. Southeast St. Catherine with Big Rob as well. You know, those could go either way. And I call them, I leave them uncalled in my last forecast. So I hope people understand. I don't really call seats for the JLP that I see a possibility that the PNP might win it. So that's why I'm 100% sure that the JLP will win the next election.
Foresight? Foresight is gone. Runaway Bay?
Yes.
Your comments, sir?
I listen to the podcast, and I'm always confident of my party as of my leader, and the podcast can swing. I would agree with him. He did call a few safe seats for the JLP and a few for the...
Wouldn't you agree, though, for Runaway Bay, that, and I've heard the PNP leaders say this, that to start with 14 is not an easy task to get up to that 33.
Yes,
You are admitting to that.
yes.
Especially against a strong JLP.
You're a honest man. I can talk to you a little bit more. And when you look on the fact that although there remain some challenges in Jamaica,
Yes.
you cannot say that the government has been a failure. Wouldn't you agree with that too?
Can I be honest with you, the neighbor?
I don't expect you to do anything else.
Good. If the government did control two things, the economy and crime, PNP will never sit back government.
No. What do you mean by that?
But question, wouldn't you say?
Hold on. What? Let him. What do you mean by that?
I know you're going to say the figure gone down. I know you're going to say that of crime. I know you're going to say that. But how recently the crime figure has gone down?
But that's not the question I asked. Right? I'm just saying to you that it is reasonable to assume.
Yes.
It's just no reasonableness. The government has not.
What rip the runway?
Yes.
What were the crime figures from 2016 to 2020? How is it different from now? It was worse, and the JLP won in a landslide. So, what is your argument, really?
But that didn't reflect the local government election result.
But the murder rate has fallen significantly since February.
Right, since February last year, wouldn't you say a lot of dynamics would have changed?
You know what a local government elections really mean? That there is an election. The people who has misery get something to voice their frustration and show the government where they are.
Yes.
And that gives the government a year and a half to basically patch up where they need to patch up.
Mm-hmm.
Don't underestimate this government as this JLP as a political machinery. You know. I know the PNP have political strength and political nose, but this present JLP setup haven't lost an election.
Let him answer the question that neighbor asked him, though. We still want to hear that answer.
I would agree with neighbor based on the fact that but based on the results. We're looking at the results. We have to look at the facts.
Let's go again. Let's go again, no? Because we like to flow, you know.
Yes.
I am suggesting to you, as your leader would have admitted,
yes,
for the PNP to win the next election, it's going to be an uphill task.
100% agree with you.
You agree with me?
Yes.
And that is because you only have 14 seats and you need 18.
Bear in mind, these are forecasts.
No. It's not a forecast that you need 18. It is a fact to get to 32.
Right.
You need 18.
Mm-hmm.
And you are expecting 18 seats from a government that has done, my word, reasonably well.
I like the word, and I like the way you say reasonable well. I like that, and I agree with you. I will agree with you.
Yes, I think you're a decent comrade, and not only has the government done reasonably well, the opposition has not really done well.
Well, we don't want to be biased here, neighbor. And Mark has really voiced his opinions and go in areas that need to be done, that you need to go in.
No, sir. No, sir. For example, the party has been pushing corruption.
Yes.
But it has not told us where the corruption is. Are you telling me that the appointment of Dennis Chong, not by the government,
right,
is corruption? What is corruption, my brother? What is corruption?
We all know what the corruption is.
No. For the benefit of the listener.
Yeah.
For the benefit of the listeners, are you saying to me that the appointment of Mr. Dennis Chong to head the FID is corruption?
Well, the leader see it as that because of his favor and he's a friend of the JLP.
No, but I'm not asking you what the leader see. There is another man in your party that is not able to see, and he's saying it is corruption too. So it's not a matter of sight. Is it corruption? Is that corruption?
And how can the government be corrupt for an appointment that was not done by the government?
He's answering. Brother?
Yes, I'm here.
How can the appointment of Mr. Chong to head an agency, not by the government, be a subject of protest and be labeled corruption? What is corruption?
Because the party, I wouldn't say the leader, the party see that when he do the investigation, it will lean and bias and come
Forget the party. Forget the party. Talk to me.
Yeah.
Is that corruption?
Yeah. Because we see that, or the party sees that, look, this man will be favored the JLP.
Sir, where is the evidence? That is a perception you have and you call it corruption?
Why did not choose someone else?
No, hold on. So perception, feeling is what the PNP calls corruption?
It's not a matter of calling corruption.
You know, sir, if probably Jamaica was a more educated, progressive nation, not one person would turn out at those protests. Because it is absurd, sir. It is ridiculous, and the PNP looks bad. What is corruption? I'm asking you to tell me what is corruption. So it's corruption. All right. So who? Let's make this a little easier for you. Who is the PNP calling corrupt?
Exactly.
It is evident that we're calling the current government corrupt.
But it is not the government that appointed the man.
He allowed it.
How do you mean allow it?
Where's the
How
evidence?
did he do that?
You know, sir, you must mislead the people, you know. There is a process by which these things happen.
Right.
You can speak to the corrupting of the process.
Right.
Where is the evidence that the process by which Chong was appointed is corrupt? Where is the evidence?
When the news broke that Mr. Chong will head this investigation.
No, but I am not asking you about the news, sir. I am asking you about the evidence.
I'm coming to your question, right? And they look at. I would say look, this man is a JLP supporter.
No, sir. Hold on. Sir, you think I am a JLP supporter?
I'm not sure on the election day who you will swing for.
Are you sure that Chong will swing for the Labour Party?
Of course he will.
You are sure of that?
100%.
What is the evidence?
Is he not a member of the JLP party?
Yes, sir. I thought I had greater respect for you.
Come on, neighbor.
All right, let's listen. Corruption is dishonest behavior
Yes.
by those in position of power, such as government officials.
Correct.
Where in the appointment of Mr. Dennis Trung is the corruption? Where is it?
Okay. Who put him there? Who appointed him?
All right. I think I see you're a good spin bowler, but your bowling is wide out the off stop. I think the listeners are quite you know, they can make up their own mind. The point I'm making though is that you have labeled these protests.
Yes.
Corruption protests, but we're not hearing where the corruption is. Point us to the corruption.
So you're
Is
saying
it true that the leader of the PNP has 32 bank accounts? I heard that breaking today. Is that true?
Well, we heard that another leader had 28.
Is it true that your leader it is now being reported that he now has 32 bank accounts?
Where is the evidence?
He's having bank accounts. Hold on.
Yeah.
He's having bank accounts corrupt. He's having a number of bank accounts corrupt.
Where is the evidence to that?
No. I'm not asking you that. He's having bank accounts corrupt. Is that corruption?
I have 4 bank accounts. Is that corruption? No.
So you are corrupt?
No.
So having bank accounts do not make you corrupt.
Not at all. Not at all.
Have you told that to the PNP?
They know that. They know that.
So why are they suggesting that the fact of having multiple accounts makes you corrupt?
All right. Can we go a little further?
No. Before we go further, is having bank accounts
Yes.
an act of corruption?
Having bank accounts is not corruption.
Does it suggest corruption?
No.
So where is the PNP going with this?
Because this come all on the horizon and the back of declaring the statutory declaration.
That's a different argument, though. That is a completely different argument.
That's where this sprang from.
Yeah, but that is a completely different argument. We are speaking about corruption.
Yes.
And I'm saying to you that if you call people to protest on corruption, you are making a very serious allegation.
Correct.
It's a very serious thing, you know, sir. Because if the government is corrupt, then quite frankly, Jamaicans should be concerned.
True.
And you know, I gonna tell you this, my brother. I don't know how the government has just sat down and taken this, you know. Because if a man accuse me of being corrupt, me and you're going to have to go fight that out. And you're going to have to prove to me where is the corruption. And here is the opposition, the alternative government,
Right.
accusing the state, the duly elected government, of being corrupt to the point where the opposition has taken to the streets in Jamaica, accusing the government of corruption. And what has been the government response to this so far?
Yeah.
Totally inadequate, I think.
Yeah. Yes. Nothing done.
Totally inadequate,
Nothing done.
right?
Is that a sign
And the
of guiltiness?
PNP,
Is that a sign of guiltiness?
well, sir, I rather doubt it. Probably they are strategizing to come. But apart from this absurdity, what else is the opposition campaigning on?
The economy.
What about the
What about it?
People, if you go in most of the rural areas, people don't have a job.
people? What?
People don't have a job. People can't get work, and the price.
Which? All right. Okay.
And
Are you? Sorry. I have to clear this with you. You are in Jamaica,
Yes.
and people in Jamaica can't get work.
Yes.
Do you know anyone in Jamaica that want a job now and can't get it?
A whole heap of people.
Can you write down their names tomorrow and carry come right up yourself? And I bet you say if you do that to me tomorrow,
I can give you a bookload of names that people want to work and can't get work.
and can't get it?
People have degrees and can't get a work.
No.
Hold
My-
on. So these are people who apply for jobs,
Yes.
and what
today,
happened?
Up today, I had 4 people come to me asking me what can be done to get them into a job.
How long have they been applying?
Some applying ages, some just get a day work there, a day work here. Not go on for the young people. That's what's on the streets.
Yeah. Well, you know, sir, we don't have full employment in Jamaica, to be frank, and to be very honest. Unemployment in Jamaica is below 4%, which is the lowest it has been in. By the way, sir, you know, so you don't have no credibility to come criticize employment still, you know. Because your party,
I know what you're gonna say. It's very low.
When they left. Hold on. What was the employment rate in
13.2% in 2016.
All right. So you see, sir, you can't just
PNP didn't do a better job at providing jobs for the people.
Yes.
And there are many reasons why people might not be able to get jobs, you know. Sometimes it's not because of availability. It's not because jobs are not available. It could be something as simple as just the format of the resume, you know, and how they present their
Another thing for side, they could be looking for jobs in an area that is saturated and not broadening their horizon to look in other areas where they could have been of better value.
Exactly, because what happens is that when I look at some people who are applying for jobs and I look at the resume, right, I say, but this resume, you need to change your format.
Right.
And you have persons who would attend interviews and they don't do well in the interview, and they will not necessarily tell you that. So there are many other reasons why persons might not be able to, you know, to land themselves a job. So you can look at it that because they don't have a job, it's because jobs are not available. You can't just look at it like that. You need to look at other things that might be holding them back.
And to be honest with you, to some not really good on the literate and the educational aspects of it too. Because I've come across some who just not good on the books.
I like your honesty.
No, it's true. It's true. I have a 27-year-old man who can't read, but yesterday, and that hold him back from getting a job.
Yeah, but you didn't say that a while ago. I'm glad you're saying it now.
So we still have a problem with also illiteracy.
Well, what we have, you know, we still have a number of problems. You know, what we're seeing now happening is work in progress. So we're not saying that Jamaica is perfect.
And that's where most of my concern is, guys, is that we are looking at the progress that we are making as a nation, and we're not appreciating where we're at now and where we're coming from. I had a conversation with someone the other day, and they're saying that things could be so much better for Jamaica. We have so much. And I said to him, yes, things could be better. But we have to look at this in a context of where are we coming from? What was our ability in previous times? We have to remember we are coming from a time where we couldn't pay our bills. We had to borrow from somebody to pay our bills. Now we have a government now who has ensured that we can not only pay our bills, but we have a little extra, can do something more. Now,
exactly.
If we are going into a phase now that we are able to do so much more and we are starting to do it, right? We are finally getting to the point where we are able to tap into all of those talents and resources we have as a nation and make the best of them. Rome isn't built in a day now.
Correct.
We're finally building it, and that is what I am excited about. My problem with the opposition, you know, and this is my problem with them, they are entering this campaign hoping to go to power on people's anger, and that's why they keep saying corruption. What we need is someone to inspire us, someone who is going to give us something to look forward to. Coming and getting up every day and telling me about a man that is performing and just saying that he's corrupt. And all I am seeing is that crime is going down and then you come and say him corrupt. Unemployment going down, you say him corrupt. All these good things happening and you're calling him corrupt. Remember, say it's not today we are called Jamaican politicians corrupt, you know. We have been calling Jamaican politicians corrupt for as far as I can remember. But then it was so easy to believe because nothing was happening. Politicians were just getting rich and nothing was happening for the country. Now you're calling this man corrupt and so much is happening for the country in terms of where we're heading.
Let me say this. You see, guys, Jamaica. There are some people in Jamaica that are failing Jamaicans, and you see those who have benefited from education.
They're not the loudest.
They're failing their brothers in Jamaica. And let me tell you this. As I move across this country, I see problems, but I see opportunities like I've never seen before. But a large section of the population still feels that somehow the responsibility for their advancement lies on the shoulders of others.
True. Yes, true.
And you know, responsibility is not a detachable burden that you shift to the shoulders of others.
True.
Fate, fortune, in the days of astrology, they unload it on the star. How men organize to produce the means of their subsistence constitutes the fundamentals of society. Did you know, my friend from Runaway Bay, that at 4:30 tomorrow morning, no bird will be in their nests, but men will be in their beds, and then they say they are hungry.
True.
At 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, you listeners, every bird, unless in sick, will get up out of the nest and instinctively flies out in search of its worm or its berries or its whatever. But men at 10 o'clock tomorrow will be in his bed, probably in his sex, 2-3 times for the night. And tomorrow morning he's so tired. And it's in all likelihood the girl may get up. Because she, but him, done.
True.
And he stays in his bed and then he blames the government to not go on.
Yes.
There is no man in Jamaica tomorrow who gets up out of his bed with a purpose in his mind that will come home hungry, sir. None.
I agree with you, 100%.
You agree with me, sir?
Yes, sir.
Well, of course. You understand me? How them say you're a comrade? You're not a comrade, sir.
How different comrade this?
Yeah, a good, decent man this. And I want to repeat this so that people understand.
But that's how we are to be taught.
The only creature of creation that is lazy and sit down and depend on others. And you know something, and I have said this, I've said this time and often. We have to change the way we practice politics.
True.
Because we still give people the impression that is the MP if you do it.
Yes.
Yes?
And the government.
And when I started on this program, you know what I started to do, sir? To define government. We hold these truths to be self-evident.
True.
That all men are created equal and are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights. Among them the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that it is to secure these rights why government exists.
Correct.
Government no exists to get you a job. Government exists to create an environment that you go and pursue your dreams and vision. I was living with a man in Kingston one day, and the man That time bag juice I sell for $50 a bag. And the man come to me for $50, you know, and me say, what you gonna do? Him say, I go up to halfway tree, go buy a bag juice and start a business. And come home back the night with $150. Selling bag juice. You understand what I say to you, sir? And you cannot tell me with any credibility tonight that there are not opportunities in Jamaica for people. There are. But as I said to you, tomorrow morning some will lay down in them bed. Because they up on TikTok all night.
True.
Right?
True.
And then gone and you know the same people that we are worried about. How much Guinness they drink since morning and boom.
Boom.
I'm telling you.
And how much weed them some more since morning. Yes?
And the good thing about it too, the art program is a very good institution that implemented by the JLP, and the free entry, that was a good thing.
Say it again.
Comrade this.
No, but the evidence is there. I have to be honest.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I did a lot of people into art. Because some couldn't find the entrance fee, some couldn't find the uniform, some couldn't find this, some couldn't find that. You know. So once we steer them in the right path and give them a helping hand, so they can become self-reliant. And that's what we're talking about. Self-reliance.
Absolutely, sir.
You know.
My brother, it was nice talking to you. You are to come
again.
Likewise,
neighbor.
What does RIP means?
I used to keep it was a party I used to keep, Rip the Runway. I just call it Rip the Runway Boss.
Okay, run. Oh, are you working?
Yes, man.
All right. Send me an inbox. I want to talk to you off here. You hear?
Yes.
So like you're close to seeing the light. So, Rip the Runway?
Huh?
So like you're getting closer and closer to seeing the light, man, under the JLP.
You know what is my rightful name?
Can you sound like a man who wants to see good for Jamaica, you know?
Of course. My rightful name is
Norman. But you're holding on
Washington
to an old
Mackenzie,
tradition.
You know? My rightful name is Norman Washington Mackenzie. I was born 1973.
Wow.
Norman Washington Mackenzie.
Yes, so you know where I'm coming from.
So I assume Norman Washington Mackenzie that you'll be voting for the Labour Party.
No. That's a close call. No.
You're thinking about it, eh?
No. I'm a comrade. I'm an authentic comrade.
Okay, you have your rights. But it was I'd like to talk to you again maybe tomorrow or some other time, eh?
Yes, man. I'm here, man.
I want to just give one word of advice, if I can.
Yes.
And this is to our virgin here. Is when you speak with your leaders, I get a sense that there's a lot of persons among them that is just anything the leader say, that is it. Which is true. You have a leaders lead, but we have there's to be voice of reasons amongst leaders as well. Leaders must can listen to somebody saying to him, say, sir, we need to pivot to give words of hope to the nation. We cannot just go around beating down, and because I can tell you, persons have eyes to see, persons can know what is happening around them.
Yes.
And if you get up every day and speak in something that is not being seen in front of their eyes,
true.
You will not be.
You won't be able to
not
convince everybody by calling the bad good.
You can
right? Calling the good bad. Right?
Right. So
you can't be good and be calling it bad.
Know that if he wants to win, if he wants to be effective, he needs to change his angle, because it's coming across like he has no plan.
Just a far-fetched question, and I'm closing now. Don't you think it would be a better chance if we had Lisa Hanna?
I wouldn't know. I don't know what she would be able to do. Probably. I don't know. But I'm saying...
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Who you have there now is not inspiring any form of...
You mean as leader or as a member of the party?
Leader.
Is she still a member of the party?
Well, she's out of politics, but that doesn't she doesn't have a vote.
No, man, I'm not talking about support. I'm talking about
Guys, I have to go because I have my bread to go and sleep so I can get up early to go and get it. Nobody brings me anything, I can tell you that.
Okay.
If I don't get my rest so that I can get up on my nest tomorrow to go look my bread.
Indeed.
But so you guys who are all here with me.
Mark Gordon would tell you otherwise, neighbor.
Well, I understand that how men organized use the means of their subsistence constitute the fundamentals of society. Those persons who want to share a gift with us, you do it out of your own goodness of your own heart.
Yes.
And we appreciate it, okay?
No problem.
So until tomorrow, want to thank you so much for staying tuned to this your program. Favorite program in the afternoon, in the night. We were a little late tonight, but you stayed with us. Thank you, O'Shane. Forsyth.
Yes, yeah, man. Good to be here again.
KC, own boss.
Yeah, man.
Take care of yourself.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
All right, listeners, take care of yourself.